feeding hard.
But I feel like now that you've put me under the pressure,
To get those little key bits of information.
right, we can build from that.
Yeah, man, I'm keen as to hit a new lake this weekend. It's going to be sick. Like going to a new spot, never been there before. Like get to, it's a new puzzle. It's a new thing to try and work out. You're not going to the same place over and over again. It's going to be freaking sick.
Yeah, there's nothing better, man. The anticipation that builds up when you go into a new joint is nuts. It's like, right, what's it going to be like? Where's it going to be at? What are we going to be fishing the most? And you're looking at all your lures and thinking which one of these is going to be.
It's like being a little kid, eh? Like you're just opening up the box, just going, what are they going to eat in this joint?
Yeah.
Like, it's so sick. And I think the best thing is not knowing anything about it. Like, it is literally completely new. We've never seen it.
Yeah.
Nothing. Like, we know nothing about it. So it's time to hook in, start researching. This afternoon, as soon as I get home, it's going to be on the computer, Google Earth, everything. Like, just trying to... We don't even know what they eat there. Like,
no idea what the main thing is, the main bait or anything like that. It's just, righto, here we are, let's work it out from scratch. And it's one of the most, like, if it comes off, if you can do it,
rewarding as hell.
It's as good as it gets, man. Like,
there's no better feeling, hey, when you crack something that is completely new. Like, what it's like when you crack a fish on something you've never caught them on before and all that. But going to a new area and having no info and not sponging off anyone that's fished there and trying to, I guess, have it handed to you.
Exactly.
It's that feeling. There's nothing wrong with it.
No, exactly. It's just more like, I want to do it myself, you know what I mean? I want to go through the hardship so that it gives that reward, the fish that you catch at the end, more value. And it's such a good way to do it. And particularly with new places, like, it's all well and good, man, to get a bit of info and stuff like that off someone that does it a lot.
You need it, essentially. It's part of the research.
Yeah.
It's part of everything, but
the last thing you want is for someone to go, right, go exactly here, throw exactly this, because, it's like, I got nothing against people being guided or anything like that, but for me, like, it takes a little bit of the shine off the fish.
Yeah, it's that feeling you get yourself.
Yeah, because you want to, exactly, man, exactly. And we are lucky enough that, we are of the mentality that I appreciate you catching a fish just as much as you appreciate me catching a fish or us doing it as individuals. But, yeah, the last thing, that's because we work it out together. But the last thing I would want is to be spoon-fed a giant. And
it feels like someone else sort of done it for you.
Exactly.
But, it's going to be mental. Like, get all that research, everything that you do leading up to it, and like you say, hopefully it pays off. And if it doesn't, well, you've put everything into it, and you learn off that, and we'll be back. Like, we'll go again. And that's, I feel like sometimes when you don't, it just drives you that hard somewhere that you might not have gone to for a couple months or something like that. You're back there straight away trying to get redemption and work out where you went wrong and make it right.
Exactly. Adjust and correct. And you never know. Sometimes you go there and it all goes really, really well the first time. You think, right, we can build from that. And then you go back and it's just not good.
Yeah, exactly right. But no, I think it's going to be sick. And, I want to get on things like Google Earth and whatnot, have a look at the lake and just see what the layout is. It's a completely different lake. Like, it's not even the same as what we have been fishing in the local areas. It's the lay of the land.
It's everything, man. We're so used to the wind directions around the lakes that we fish. We're so used to the water temperatures and things like that. And then you go to a place that you've never ever been to and everything's just, all right, completely back to basics. You go back to your fundamentals. Start from scratch and start picking the place apart and eliminating as much as you can. It's not necessarily about
that elimination,
finding what's right, it's cancelling out what's wrong. And then as you do that over and over and over and over again, you're constantly narrowing it down to what's going to be a high percentage chance of being successful. And that's the best feeling, man, when you go through that process of elimination or whatever it might be, and just slowly start ticking some boxes, and then you get a concept, and then you apply that concept, and then when it works, it is just absolutely one of the best feelings in fishing. It doesn't matter how big it is most of the time. It's just like, right, you work out the details of an approach sometimes it's after a month.
Yeah, all of a sudden a 50 centimetre fish feels like you've just nailed the biggest thing in the world.
That little fish, man, is absolutely mind-blowing. You can't hold yourself together a lot of the time. It gets a bit emotional, to be honest. But it's just good, man. Like, you know how we go about it. We go there and it's like, all right, start with what we know. Start with what we're comfortable with.
Yeah.
Put those confidence lures. Like, everyone's always talking about that lure that you're most confident with. Yep. You put that on and you go, right, this is it. As long as you're still following that fundamental principle of using the right tool for the right job.
Yeah.
And you're dissecting areas effectively, then you'll slowly work your way through. You'll start eliminating dead water and being efficient. It's just so exciting, man.
And the first thing I'll be doing when I get there tomorrow, I'm going to get there in the dark. So first thing will be headlamp on, cruising the shallows, trying to work out what.
That's
and it's going to be sick because although we don't know what they eat there essentially, but we know that there's not bonies for a start, you know, and the one thing about that is everywhere we do fish has them as basically a primary food source. Is them and like bobby cod and stuff like that. Yeah, so that, you know, that bigger sort of shad style bait and whatnot, which a lot of lures are designed around that way, but I think there's trout in this lake as well, and those sorts of things. So, you know, and a lot of the lures and techniques that we use, driven from the States, comes back to that as
with the trout application. That's it, man. And well, that sort of raises a funny point because, I mean, I'll pick up a trout imitating presentation and throw it in lakes all the time that have no trout in them, and they work really, really well. And it comes back to the fact that regardless of what it is, if you dropped a goldfish in a fish tank with a Murray Cod in it, and that Murray Cod's never seen a goldfish before in its life,
she's probably going to get eaten.
It's getting swallowed. I can guarantee you it's getting swallowed.
But it's going to be sick going to somewhere where that is potentially one of their main food
because
sources.
Then it is something that you can genuinely pattern. You know what I mean? It's not just like, okay, find the fish and get him to respond on basics. It's like, no, this is specifics, and that's when things really come together. It's such an important part of it.
It's all part of that breaking it down, hey, and the research and whatnot that goes into it. Like, and that's what I'm looking forward to, just finding those new things and fishing for a completely different wide fish line. They're all wide, similar, but you know, they're a different fish. They live in different areas on different structure, and they eat different food.
Yeah, so for sure, man.
It's
for sure.
It's going to be absolutely wicked, and we get asked so many times like about breaking down new areas, breaking down new lakes, and that sort of thing. And this is exactly that. It is.
You've already named step one. Step one is get down on the water. Best time and best way to do it is get your headlamp out and you're just onto it straight away. Start walking around the water's edge. Shine the light in there. You will find out pretty quickly what's around. You might have to do a couple kilometres of bank, but you will find out in, you know, a foot or 2 foot of water what's around with a spotlight. It's every single lake, everywhere. Every fishery I've ever stepped foot on, that's what I've done.
At least your eyes on it. Like you get there at night and get the light on the water.
And you do feel like a little bit of a little kid too, because it's pretty fun racing around.
You end up wasting hours trying to catch.
You end up trying to catch one. I think the other cool thing, man, about being diverse in where you go is, for me personally, and I know that you're the same, but the last thing that you want is to be constantly going to the same place, doing the same stuff. Even if you are successful, I want to catch one in every lake, every river, as many sizes, types, and on as many presentations and styles of fishing as I possibly can.
100%.
That's what's going to teach me the most about Murray Cod. You know what I mean? It's like, we live a couple of hours from Copeton and we fish there a lot. We could go there every single time we go fishing and go to Copeton and know that you're in with a pretty good chance of catching a monster every time you go there.
But that's not what it's about.
But
it's about
exactly.
Like, it's like
different. I'd rather catch a giant one, you know, a 80 centimetre one out of one of our local lakes that are super tough and tiny, than catch a metre 10 out of coast.
Well, how many times do we find ourselves go, have a good trip, and then we don't go back?
Exactly.
Anywhere, that is. You know, we might go to Split Rock, have a good trip, and then all of a sudden, like 2 days later, we're like, where are we going to go?
Where are we going next? Yeah,
you know,
exactly. There's plenty of times we go back and try and double up on it because we know that there's more to learn and more to absorb and to try and take advantage of good conditions. But there's nothing better, man, than just expanding your horizons and
it's like being versatile. You learn so much.
That's what it adds to. It adds to the versatility.
Yeah, and you can often draw from those new areas. Might spike something that then you take back to
reapply back there. Yeah. Exactly, man. That's why, man. I can't wait. I can't wait to one day be able to say that I've been to every one of them and hopefully
be like a Grand Slam.
The Grand Slam. Bro, the Grand Slam's a dream.
Yep.
Dirty big one out of every single lake, that would be.
Yep. Every lake, then every river.
Properly amazing.
Yeah,
man. Absolutely. Every major lake. Imagine that. That's just.
I'm looking forward to it. That's for sure. I can't stop thinking about it. Ever since the decision's been made to go somewhere new, it's like every day it's on my mind.
Yeah, definitely. And I just think that's it, man. All you do is you go through and you apply the basics, the same stuff that you know works here or at
use that as a base platform
and Pindari. Use that as your foundation, and you know, learn from that, apply that, and see where it takes you. And that's probably the best way to try and attack somewhere new. Same with the new stretch of river. I mean, it's that, but it's just on a grand scale with probably more variables. It's not, you know, as consistent all the time, but you go there and you know how to catch them. You just got to try and apply that, sometimes just with a little twist. And you start with the basics, like attack. Find your areas first. That's the main thing. Find what's good. Don't drive out in the dark going,
how many times do you
we'll go over here
happen?
And you fish there all morning and then realise, this is a terrible bank for 2Ks, we've just wasted prime time. As soon as you have that revelation, you go, right, we need to find exactly where we're fishing later on this afternoon.
A lot of that comes down to the pre-trip, you know, the work that goes into it.
Definitely.
Studying maps, you know, all that sort of thing as well. It gives you a good idea, so you're not rolling into the lake. It gives you a head start. Yeah, you're not rolling into the lake just like, righto, well, now what? Like, do we have to drive the full length of the lake to work out what it looks like at the other end?
Yeah.
You essentially already know that the lay of the land could be different or the same up there, and then you can base where you start off that. But you see so many times dudes roll in, it's dark, and then they start somewhere close to the ramp, and then, you know, you're sort of stuck there and you're committed to that area without being able to do anything because you haven't really put in that pre-trip.
And I think also it comes down to the tools you use too, because for me, if I'm fishing somewhere new, generally I'm fishing pretty quick.
Yeah.
Most of the time. Until I've covering ground, like power fishing, until I've found something that really catches my eye, then I'll slow down, settle in and start really picking it apart. But you can't necessarily, let's say for example, go and throw a glide bait, like a big 2-piece glide bait, quickly on an area that you're trying to find fish on. It's just it doesn't work like that. But most swim baits as well, to be honest.
Yeah, you really need to be using the right tools. If I've got like a
squarey on, you can cover ground so well, man. Fish so good, and you're fishing the lure properly, the way it's supposed to be fished.
And you know it catches them too.
You know it catches them
everywhere.
Spinnerbait's another good one. You can peg it out there and keep rolling it through. It's a brilliant way to get your bearings, to get an understanding of what the bottom composition is, the depth, the contours.
Especially a squarey, you know, constantly bouncing.
Squarey,
something that you've got so much response to. It's a brilliant bait to start with. you get out there, you know you're hitting rock, or you know you're hitting timber or mud. You know,
exactly.
And you can get a pretty good indication. You can fish it quickly,
and it's supposed to be fished quickly. That's the other thing. So you're not rushing every retrieve, and that's the thing. If you got out there and went, righto, we're fishing a bank we've never touched before, and we're going to throw a top water, it might work, but it might not be the best way to do it either, because you really want to be fishing fairly slow and methodical to pick that edge apart. And if you don't know that that's, you know, the right, or you might be on the right bank, you just might not be in the right section of that bank. Whereas if you've got a squarey on, you can be fanging through there.
You're fishing a high percentage bait for a start, so even if you're in a low percentage area, at least you've got a decent thing on. You're covering that ground, you're working your way through it, and like you say, you pick up on all those little bits of information that the lure's giving you, rather than what you're seeing with your eyes and that sort of thing. So that lure's giving you the information, that feedback that you're getting just through the feel of it. You know, everything like that is getting. You know, you're building all that info up rather than just looking around going, this could be a good area, and it might not be, you know. So, along with your sounder and whatnot, like a lure's just as much your eyes under the water.
Definitely, man. Definitely.
As a decent mapping.
A squarey or a crankbait, generally anything that's going to be constant bottom contact's a cracker. But a squarey's great, or any crankbait, big crankbait really, because it's a reaction bait. And the principle of that, and fishing it quickly, means that if you do come across the right area and there's one there, they're going to respond to it, jump on it, and you're going to go, right, there's one. And you've caught what you could probably consider to be the most active fish that's there.
100%.
Right? And then after that, you can go, okay, let's settle in, potentially, if, you know, the ingredients are right, let's settle in here and pick it apart to try and catch some of the fussy ones. You know what I'm saying? And it's just so good. It's all of that stuff all comes with going to a new place, and I just reckon that, like, it's one of the special things about fishing is that it's not the same everywhere. Even though it's the same species of fish, the variables are just infinite, and to try and navigate those and overcome them to get the result at a completely different place that you've never been to is
there's so not much exciting. Else that can offer that to you. Hey, like it's
it's pretty nuts. Like you can be into whatever you want, man, but fishing is about as diverse and dynamic of a sport you could ever possibly be into.
The variables are just insane. But, especially going to somewhere where you don't know. So it's gonna be sick,
man.
See what comes of it.
Looking forward to it, dude. It's gonna be awesome.